Now, there is one way to be welcome to Britain: spend plenty of money. The Chancellor, George Osborne, says he wants more Chinese visitors and businesses, and he's changing the visa rules to allow it. Mr. Osborne, who's in Beijing, urged the West not to harbour outdated attitudes towards the Chinese, who are not just flocking to Britain's shops, but rapidly buying up parts of key industries from cars to power stations. Tonight, we have 3 reports on the foreign migrants so desperate for a better life they'll risk their own, and those who make it who aren't so welcome. But first, here's our political editor, Gary Gibbon.
The Chancellor's in China, the Mayor of London too, to promote trade and win more Chinese investment in Britain. George Osborne first had to acknowledge that Britain needed to speed up visas for Chinese visitors. Figures show that many Chinese visit Europe on one user-friendly visa, but then don't bother with the extra one you need to visit the UK.
It's an opportunity for British tourism to welcome more Chinese visitors and an opportunity for British business to do more business with China. And so we're streamlining and simplifying the visa system so that it makes it easier for that business with China to be done.
You might think a certain pattern of behaviour is developing. The occupant of number 10 or number 11 heads off east on a trade mission just after the government here has announced a clampdown on immigration and visas. And then, once the Prime Minister or the Chancellor is in China or India, they tell the local population, don't be put off, we want your visitors, your students, your shoppers to come to the United Kingdom. You've misinterpreted the rules, or, in this case, we drew them too tightly. There's an appetite for British goods and culture in China. This was a weekend trade fair in Beijing, but a reluctance to come to Britain to holiday and spend money. George Osborne's announced a new super priority visa system that would mean individuals could get into Britain on the same visa that got them into other European countries.
It's a problem for Theresa May to get this immigration balance right, but we've got it wrong in relation to the people who we want to attract to Bond Street and in relation to the business people we want to bring into the country. We need to make it much easier for them to come over.
The Chancellor had hoped to make his visit last month, but the Chinese decided to make it a bit later and overlapping with the Mayor of London's trip.
George Boris, what's it like sharing the stage?
It's a joy.
Well, George Osborne may not be in China exactly the date he originally wanted, but at least he got there. The Prime Minister's still waiting for his invitation. He's been cold-shouldered by the Chinese since May of last year, when he met the Dalai Lama in St Paul's Cathedral. These snapshots come at a high price, as other leaders have discovered, frozen out for a period by the Chinese after meeting the man Beijing believes is a separatist enemy of the Chinese state.
Welcome to Airport City.
And the Chinese know we need their investment to build projects like the £800 million Manchester Airport City more than they need ours. As well as Manchester Airport, Liverpool Docks redevelopment is hoping for more Chinese money. China could be about to confirm billions invested in building the Hinkley nuclear power plants. There's a £1 billion Royal Albert Dock development plan, a Chinese proposal to rebuild London's Crystal Palace.
I don't want us to try and resist your economic progress. I want Britain to share in it.
To help with that, George Osborne said David Cameron had no plans to meet the Dalai Lama again. National leaders tend not to risk 2 meetings. China's voice is getting louder, and few now dare to ignore it.